Hello everyone, I just wanted to show you what this tutorial is going to make. This is a little farm crate and we're going to be using the BoBunny Farmer's Market to make a cute, and there went my dog, to make this adorable little crate. How stinking cute is that? It's fully lined. I'm pretty sure that eventually we're going to put a mini album in it, but I thought it would be really cute for gifting like a couple of things of jam. So here we go. Let's make a crate. Good morning, my crazy crafting buddies. It is time to start creating. This is Sunny from Creative Therapy, and I am about to start a project for Country Craft Creations design team. And my last video was my haul where I got my BoBunny Farmer's Market awesomeness from Miss Tamara over at Country Craft Creations. Excuse me, I'm trying to get situated and I'm knocking things around a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, got a light that was in the wrong spot. Okay, so here's what I've decided I want to make first out of the Farmer's Market paper. Please forgive my hands. As you may remember, I was working in a factory last week and I broke off I broke a couple of nails really short, so I had to cut them all off so they matched. Anyway, I'm a mess. So here was my first inspiration for this wonderful paper. If y'all remember, it was this wonderful autumn colored, very earthy, autumny Farmer's Market. So first thing that came to my mind was a crate. You know those wooden crates with the slats that like you get fruit and stuff in? So of course I'm going to make a mini, but the first inspiration I got was this crate. So we're going to start with a BoBunny Farmer's Market crate. And if you would like to craft along with me, which it just seems like forever that we've done a project together. I don't know. I think life got busy. I don't know. I've been busy making lots of stuff, but I just think we haven't crafted together for a while. So let's make us a crate. And we're going to start with the chipboard. The bottom of our crate is going to be 5 inches by 7.5. So you're going to need a chipboard 5 by 7.5. The ends of our crate are going to be 5 inches square. So you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 by 5. Okay? So we've got 2 5 by 5, 1 5 by 7.5. Then for our slats on the sides, you're going to need 6 pieces of chipboard that are 1.5 inches by 8 inches long. Okay, and the reason they're 1/2 inch longer than our bottom is because when we put them on the side, I want them to stick out on the edges just a little bit. You know how those crates, I want them to stick out a little bit. So 2 5 by 5, 1 5 by 7.5, 6 1.5 by 8. All right, now I want to use this burlap paper. I went back and forth about I was going to take my cream colored cardstock and I was going to put it through an embossing folder for wood grain and make these look like wood slats. But in all honesty, I didn't want to use up that much of my cardstock because I'm definitely making a mini album too. So I decided it would look really cool in this burlap, but then I didn't want to use up all my burlap because all right, I finally made up my mind. I'm serious, like I've been going back and forth about this for about an hour. So I've made a decision. I'm using burlap. Y'all can use whatever you want, but I really do think that an off-white cardstock put through an embossing folder with a wood grain and then hit the top of it with some brown ink would be cool. Like I said, I just want to save my cardstock right now for my album, and I thought this would look equally cool. So, all right. So for my pattern paper, And then I was trying to figure out how, making sure I could get it all out of the paper I had, because there's only 2 sheets of this, and I wanted to use some of it in my album, and I didn't want to use up all the other side because I love the other side too. I may end up getting another collection, who knows. But anyway, since I had the 6x6 pads, or pad, I took 2 of the 3 burlap pieces out of it, and those 2 I'm going to use to cover my ends. Okay, you can see this is not the double-sided paper. This came out of the 6x6 pad. So whatever pattern paper you use, you're going to need 2 that are cut 6x6. Okay, and you're going to need 6 that are 2.5 by 9. Okay, and those are going to be for our slats. And you're going to need 1 that's 6 by 8.5. And I'm actually going to put this on the bottom of my crate. Okay? This is going to be on the very bottom. And we're going to wrap our chipboard on one side before we do our construction. And I know that sounds a little odd, but there is a method to my madness. So you may want to watch the whole video beginning to end to see why I'm doing it this way. You may agree, you may disagree, and you know what? I might get halfway into it and have to change my plan, because that's happened before too. So anyway, so far as the plan stands now, this is what you need. All right, I've got it right here for you. I don't know if you can see it, but just in case I say it too fast or whatever. This is what we have so far. Now for the construction strips, I'm doing something a little different this time because of the way I want to assemble it. And I'm actually cutting my construction strips out of the burlap. Okay. Now I have 6 at 1 inch by 5 inches. And I have 2 at 1 inch by 7.5. When you score these, I want you to score them on the wrong side, okay? So what I mean by that, and I saved one that wasn't scored so I can do it on camera and show you, all right? Since we always fold away from the score, you know, we want it to end up scored with the burlap on the inside, because we attach it and then the burlap, I want the burlap to show. So in order to make that happen, what you do is you're going to score it on the opposite side. Okay, and we're scoring at 1/2 inch. All these 1 inch strips, the construction strips, are getting scored at 1/2 inch. All right. All right, so there is your valley. You know, your little indentation. And we always fold away from that. So turn it over to where your mountain is on the top and go over the mountain. That's how I always say it in class to get people to understand what I'm talking about. All right, so you're going to score on the wrong side, and then you're going to fold over the mountain to where your burlap is showing on the inside. Got it? All right, so I'm not going to cover all these pieces on camera and make you watch, because how boring is that? I am just going to do 1 or 2 on camera and then do the rest off camera. Now what I just picked up, you're going, what's she got now? This is my 6x6 score tape sheets. I had a couple left over from what Tamara had sent me on my very first goodie box as a design team member. So since I had a couple left and they're 6x6, I just cut one of them to 5 inches. So this one's 5x6, and I'm going to put that one on my big piece of chipboard. Okay, I'm being thrifty here. All right. All right, here we go. Can y'all see what I'm doing? I hope so. Alright, I'm just going to put that on one side of my chipboard, like so. Okay. These are just so much quicker and easier than putting all that score tape down. Alright, and I can fill in with some 1/2 inch on the sides, and then I'm going to take, I cut this one to 5 by 5, and then I saved my little, you know, my other strips. I'll use those too. And we'll just put that right there. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Remember, score tape gets its adherence by the burnishing. It's that pressure that activates your score tape, gets rid of all your little bubbles, and that makes it easier to peel your backing off. So if you're ever trying to take your backing off and you just can't get that off, burnish real good, and the back of your tape will pull up a little easier. Alright, and so I'll do these here in a minute, because that's going to have to be trimmed a little. Whatever. Okay, so basically we're going to wrap these just like we would an album cover, okay? So you're going to, this is a 5 by 5 piece of chipboard. This is a 6 by 6 piece of pattern paper. And this one is not directional, so I don't really have to worry about which way it's pointing. Well, and this is square, so it doesn't matter. You can worry about that in the next step if you have paper that's directional. I just eyeball everything, and I know that seems to frustrate people because I can't give them a definite answer because I just do things this way. But anyway, so just get it centered. Alright, so you've got it centered best you can. It doesn't have to be exact, but you know, the closer you can get it, the better. Alright, so now we've got it stuck down, and I'm going to trim off my little corners, and I like to use my little gadget, but basically all you're doing is you're cutting a 45-degree angle, and you're leaving just a little bit of a gap between the edge of your chipboard and the edge of your paper, because you want to have a little something to cover that point. If you bring it too close, your little point will stick out. It won't be wrapped all the way. So, and that's what this does. It has different widths on here, so you just line up your corner and you cut it, and it gives you a 45-degree angle, and it leaves that little piece you need to cover your corner. This is called the Perfect Trim Ruler, perfecttrimruler.com. I got it so long ago. I think they had just come out at the time. I'm not sure they still make them. I'm assuming they do. Sorry, I don't have better information on that. I guess I should if I'm going to use something. I should be able to tell you where to get it. I haven't seen them in Miss Tamara's store, so dang it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know that many people use them. Most people, I think, just eyeball it. But, you know, you get in a habit of using that favorite tool, and then you forget how to do it otherwise, and I'm searching, I'm looking around here trying to find my 1/4 inch score tape. Oh, goodness, I should have had that ready. I hate to open a pack because I know I got one open somewhere, but I'm just going to open it because I'm such a mess that I don't know where it is. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 1/4 inch score tape on the edges. 3/8 would probably be best, but alright, I want to get it right up to the edge. Man, I wonder if I could fit 1/2 inch in there. That's alright. We're going to do it this way. And then I'll probably just run a bead of glue on that outside edge. Or I could use the 1/8 inch. That's what I'll do. I'll use 1/8 inch on that edge, because I really like to get this edge right up next to the chipboard. If you can like squeak it under there, that's great, because that's going to stick your paper to that tiny little width of chipboard right there. You know what I mean? So you want to scooch one up as close as possible, and then of course you want the very outer edge to adhere really well also. So like I said, sometimes I run a bead of glue there, but it's a little messier. I'm messy with glue. I don't know. I'm not a messy person as a rule, but for some reason, me and glue, with the fine tip, I do much better. I love that fine tip that you can get for the art glitter glue, that it's like tiny, tiny, tiny. So I'm not as messy as I used to be, that's for sure. All right, so now we've got that done. Let's train the edge up just a little bit. I'm going to run out of recording time here in just a minute, but I'll come back if that happens. Now, when you got you a little bit of tape hanging over the edge like that right there, just fold it back onto itself. No big deal. You really don't want it sticking out though, because every little minuscule particle of dust will find that little piece of tape and cling to it, and then you have these ugly, dirty looking smudges. So just make sure that tape rolls back onto the paper and isn't sticking out. There we go. All right, now we're going to wrap all of our chipboard pieces just like we're wrapping this one, okay? Just like you would the cover of an album. But I'm just going through the steps in case you've never done an album. All right, so what I just did there on the corner, all right, once you fold one side down, you have these little gaps right there. And if you go ahead and fold this, it's going to stay sticking out, and you don't want that. So you want to tuck that in. Okay, can you see what I did there? Just tuck it down. It'll stick to your tape right there. Make sure you tuck it in. You can use your bone folder. You can use your fingernail. Whatever works for you. But every time you fold a side, you got to tuck that little gap corner thing in so it doesn't give you any issues. And then it lays down real pretty for you on the corner. Yeah, I said pretty. I didn't say pretty. I said pretty. You know who you're dealing with. If you've been here before, you know you're just going to get what you get with me. All right. So, I want you to go ahead and wrap all your chipboard pieces just like I'm doing this one, okay? And the process is exactly the same whether they're square or rectangular. However, when I do a rectangle, I like to do my long sides first. When I pull up the paper like this, on a square, I'm just working my way around. On a rectangle, I like the long edges first and then do the short ones. I'm not sure why I like it that way. I like it that way. Alright, and I always use my bone folder along these edges to get just as crisp of an edge as I can. Okay. So there is what we have thus far. And then we got paper laying all over the place, and I keep a plastic bag, like a grocery store plastic bag, on the edge of my chair, and I'm always having to clean up and throw that out of my way as I go. So if you hear this like that, you know that's my paper rattling. Alright, so I've only got about a minute of taping left. For some reason, I gotta check my camera settings. I think it's because of the definition or something. It only holds so much at a time. It's weird because more fits on the SD card, but it quits filming on me at 18 minutes and 41 or 42 seconds. And I'm at 18 minutes, so it's going to cut out on me. So let me just say, wrap everything, and we'll be back. All right, wrap all your chipboard. Do it just the way I did these. All right, and then we're going to go from there. I'll see you in just a few minutes. I'm going to magically get mine wrapped, and I'll be back. All right, well, I thought I should wrap at least one of the longer ones with you, just so you can see the process, just in case you haven't wrapped covers or something. I just felt guilty just running out after only wrapping one. So it's the same thing, like I said, whatever side you want out, you know, you're going to put down, and we've cut these to where we'll have a 1/2 inch all the way around, so you can kind of, you know, look for that as you're eyeballing it to put it down. So there we go. That looks like about 1/2 inch all the way around me. Close enough. And again, you know, just miter your little corners. Here, let me show you. You don't have to use that thing, especially on something this small. All right, you can just go boop, boop. All right, you don't have to do the sound effects. I'm a dork. All right, so there you go. That's quicker anyway, isn't it? And we'll just put our score tape down all the way around, like so, just like we did before, only it's not a square, it's a rectangle, but everything else is basically the same. Score tape is close to that edge as you can get it, or glue. You can use glue. It does not have to be score tape. I just think it works really, really well for covering. It's nice and strong. It's reasonably quick. It's not messy. I don't know. I just like it. Covers are important. Alright, so you're gonna have to do this 6 times for the slats, 2 times for the end pieces, and just once for the bottom. And then we're gonna go to constructing in a little bit, but gotta get all these pieces, parts prepped and ready to go. It takes up a little time, but it's not difficult. Alrighty. And like I said, when it's a rectangle, I prefer to do my long ends first. Get those fibers warmed up, and I kind of usually start in the center and work my way out. Then get it nice and crisp and adhered all the way. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Tuck in our ends. Gotta tuck it. All else fails, just tuck it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't gotta say more. Just tuck it. Alright, so get our 2 long ends down. Is this boring? Am I boring y'all to tears? Those of you that have done it, you know, and you're like, seriously, like we gotta sit through this? Just fast forward. There could be somebody out there that isn't familiar with covering our, you know, maybe they've never done a mini album or something. Or maybe they did it kind where they didn't have to. Now, when it's a little short end like this, sometimes I just roll it up just like that. Alrighty. Make sure we're tucked all the way or it's going to stick out and tick me off. Alright. Look at that. Show it who's boss. It's just paper. You will win in the end, okay? Don't let it intimidate you. Alright, so now you might have noticed that since this came out of the 6x6 pad, the print is smaller. So I have like a smaller grain in my... I do not think anybody's going to notice that because on my end pieces, I'm going to be putting pattern paper over that anyway. So most of it's going to be hidden. And here, this is what inspired me. I need these on the 2 ends. And can you not just see a crate of potatoes? Okay, so you don't really have a crate of eggs. But, I don't know. This is why I decided to do a crate, was just because these 2 end pieces right here reminded me of a crate. And that's why I'm doing this. I hope you think it's cute. I think it's going to be adorable. I think it's going to be really stinking cute. And, you know, if it's stinking cute, that's like the best you can get, right? I mean, if it's just cute, it's cute. But stinking cute? Seriously. Don't know when I started saying that or why. But, you know, stinking cute's like the best cute you can get. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap the other 5. It's a little bit tedious, but it shouldn't take too long. And I will come back and we will start our assembly process. All right, get your stuff wrapped and I'll meet you back here. Alrighty then. Are y'all about tired of covering chipboard? I do not blame you, because in all honesty, I am tired of cutting chipboard myself. But anyway, here it is. I hope y'all can see. I actually had to lower the blind on the window because I was getting a glare. So even though it's nice and pretty outside, we're just going with electric lights right now. Alright, so here are all of our pieces after they've been covered. The next thing I've done, and you may want to as well, is I've gone and inked my edges with Vintage Photo, and I think it matches this burlap just perfectly. So here's one that is not inked, okay, and here is one that is inked. Can y'all see the difference? Okay, it just gives it a little more depth. I don't know, makes it look more real to me, I think. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and ink up this last one. And like I said, I'm using Tim Holtz Distress Ink in the Vintage Photo. And I just hit these edges. Now, you're going to want to also do the edges on the back of these ends, because remember, they're going to stick out a little bit. And also, just do both sides all the way around, because these are going to be on the inside of our crate, but we're going to put a strip of pattern paper over there as well. But we can't do it until after we put our construction strips on. So you're going to want the edges inked because they will show a little bit. They'll be on the inside of your crate, but they will show a little bit. So alright, so here we go. Ink, 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 ink. You can do them heavy or light, you know, whatever appeals to you most. You can just hit the edge like that, or you can bring it onto the top and bring it in as far as you want. You know, just makes it look darker, older, more worn, whatever. Alright, so that one's not quite as heavy. Making sure I've got the back. Alright, so here's what I believe is going to be our next step in the process. We are going to attach the bottom to the two ends. Okay? Now, I want my paper. This isn't really directional, but it kind of sort of has a bit of a grain, and I want that to go side to side and that to go side by side. Alright, we are going to put these in here with our construction strips, and I mitered the edges so that they don't overlap too much on the corners. Alright, but now let me tell you all what I did. I screwed up. I was trying to get an exact 45-degree angle, you know, so these would just miter very nicely. So I was using my my board, and I put my papers down, and I got this little line, and I cut them, and I thought I was being so smart until I went and I realized I cut them exactly backwards. They really should angle in like this instead of angling out. They come in from the fold. Seriously? Can you believe it? So, I was going to just cut some more so y'all would know what a dumbass I was. It's like they will never know. And then I thought, well, so what? You know, I went back and forth. Okay, so I better fix it so I have credibility. You know, so they think I know what I'm doing. But then I thought, but I made a mistake. So what? I'm human. You're human. Chances are you've cut something wrong somewhere. And at least you weren't filming. Well, you know, 95% chance you weren't filming. So I just left my mistake, because if you weren't watching, I wouldn't have fixed it. And here's why. For added stability, see, I usually put construction strips on the inside and the outside. And you could do that. Let me go back. You could still do that with this project if you weren't covering your chipboard first. If you just wanted to like paint your chipboard, because see what happens is the construction strips will show, okay? If you put them on first, they show. And I wanted this solid to the edge, so I'm only going to put construction strips on the inside of this project. And the way I was going to make sure it was stable enough is I was going to take these little corners and I was going to put them on the edges, okay, to give us some added stability. But then I realized I can't do that because these I've cut to stick out 1/4 inch further, so you can't put those corners on. So I decided I'm going to use those corners on the inside, okay? Well, if I'm using them on the inside, I don't have to cut new strips because they'll cover this little gap. See, what's going to happen is when I put these strips on, it's going to create a little gap right there in my corner. Okay, well, that one's cut right. Where's another one that's cut wrong? I cut 3 of them wrong, y'all. Seriously, 3 of them. And they're folded the wrong way because I folded them that way so I could ink inside. I wanted to have ink inside, so you may want to do that. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to put them on, and it's going to leave that little corner uncovered, right? But that's okay, because I'm going to put these in. Just realized that I put all my brads on the wrong side. Oh, I'm a dork today. I don't even know if I should try and finish this, because I'm dorkified. See, these are made to go on the outside, and that's how you would normally put the brads in, but I'm putting them on the inside. So we're going to switch our brads to the inside so that it makes sense. All right. So we are going to mount these on the inside. Okay, I am. Y'all don't have to follow my lunacy if you don't care to follow my lunacy. You can do your own thing, but what I'm doing is I'm going to use my E6000, which is super strong glue, and I'm going to put it on these corners. All right, I'm going to try and fix these brads off camera so you don't have to watch. I'm going to go ahead and assemble it now with you, but then I'm going to go back. We're going to put these corners right here, and that E6000 is just going to give us a little extra security. What I was thinking was these little crates would be really cute for gift giving, and of course I'm going to try and put a mini album inside mine, but I was thinking they're also going to be really cute for like preserves. If you wanted to give a couple of jars of preserves, if you do homemade preserves or anything, this would be such great packaging for that. But anyway, let's go ahead and start with our assembly and shut me up for a while. All right, now I want to set these, or do I want it down on the back, or do I want it up here? I'm debating. I think I want to sit it down. All right, so I'm going to position these to where the end is on the table or on the counter, desk, whatever you're working on, and I'm going to butt it right up next to it. So I'm going to want to put just a teeny bit of glue right on this edge where it's going to meet the end piece. And I got a brand new bottle of glue. I haven't used it yet. I'm wondering if my cap was a little clogged from my last bottle because it got dried out. I just switched my cap right over. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be fine. Alright, I'm just putting a little bit of glue there. Alright. I should probably get my mat so I don't mess up. Okay, here we go. I'll get there eventually, y'all. Alright, here we go. That goes there. And I'm just going to hold it for a minute. Hold it, hold it, hold it. I should have propped it up against something because what I'm going to, you know what, let me turn this around and hold it with my left hand. So if I'm going to work with one hand, it'll be, wow, that stuck pretty quick. You see that? It's already tacky. I'll be darned. Look at that. That is too cool. All right. Now with one hand, I'm going to hold that, and with the other hand, I'm going to put glue on here. Let's see how this works. Probably not very well, huh? Y'all learn from my mistakes, okay? Don't cut your strips the wrong direction like a dummy. There we go. I love a challenge. Let's try and work with one hand. Alright, get this folded. Get it in place. And stick it down. I debated whether or not to use my score tape. I really decided I wanted glue so I can make sure I get it all the nooks and crannies and get it situated. Move it around, wiggle it into that corner really well. Anyway, I decided on glue for this project, for this particular part of this particular project. Alright. Now you know why I did my construction strips out of pattern paper instead of cardstock. It's because then we're going to have a nice burlap border, and when we put our pattern piece down, it'll look nice. This will provide our border all the way around. It'll make it consistent between the sides, you know, the sides, the bottom, everything will be the same. I hope this is going to make more sense as we go. Alright, so now here's my other end that I want down here. Maybe I should get glue on everything. I'm still trying to hold this. I'm trying to prop it. I can't get a good 90-degree angle until I get my sides on. So, and I can't do my sides till I get this because they hang over. Oh my goodness. I should have a better plan before I turn on a camera, shouldn't I? So sorry, folks. Well, you know the process, though. And I know it'll make you feel better about your own situation, watching me juggle everything trying to handle mine. I'm supposed to know what I'm doing. I'm teaching you. Like I said, learn from my mistakes. Alright, gonna hold it, hold it, hold it. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Alright, move it, wiggle it. Let's see. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Get a bottle of Fabri-Tac and put it right there. Ha! Solved one problem today. And do the one-handed glue trick again. And by the way, the pen's in my mouth on top of everything, if I'm talking funny. Do y'all craft like this, or is it just crazy old ladies like me? Purple-haired old women do whatever. You know what? My hair's not even purple anymore. It's all faded. It's kind of a, I don't know. It's a very pale blue. Almost starting to have a green tint to it. I'm going to have to touch up the hair here pretty soon. I don't know. I've had it blue and purple for 2 years. What do you think? I can't decide if I want to keep doing purple. I like it though. Maybe teal. Nah, purple's better for winter, for Halloween. Oh, goodness, now I can't get a hold of it. Oh, I messed up. Alright, let that lay there for just a second. Alright. There, we'll get her. We'll get it all squared away. There we go. I probably should have done that first. Attach the strip first. On the downside, you know, just to the bottom piece. That might be the way to go. Attach your bottom piece. Can you tell I'm not real sure which way to go with my hands here? Alright. Do that. Burnish this side. Looking good. Alright. I'm liking it. Now, if maybe we need to find something else to prop up this side. Alright, there's that. We got some 3D lacquer there. Shoo, looky there, I got both hands free now. I don't know what to do with myself. Got 2 hands. Alright, we'll get the glue on this piece. I should have glued all 4 pieces to the bottom first. But I was busy yakking to y'all and didn't think. I can't always talk and think at the same time. Alright. So get this guy in there. See, if I would have done this all the way around first, I could have made my life just a little bit easier. And the thing is, I've done this before. I should have known that. And I probably do somewhere in my brain, but obviously that wasn't the part of brain I was using. Now, here's where you got to be a little bit careful. Alright, there's something under there that's making my bottle sit funny. Messing me. Oh, it's my ruler. Oh no, it's that end piece. Good gravy. Alright, make sure that's pushed up against there. Well, and let that stand. Alright. You have to center this piece so that it sticks over each edge the same amount. Looks like right there is where I want it. Let's see, this should be on the inside. We'll get there, y'all. You may not be able to see what I'm doing very well, but standing this one up, I'm centering it between the two sides, and I'm pushing it onto this construction strip right here. And I want to put a bead of glue. Don't worry, we're going to put, we're going to have pieces in here to also anchor it. It looks really wobbly right now, but we're just getting started. Oh, that didn't want to stick, did it? Alright. Once we get all four sides, then we can, there we go. We're not as bad off as it might appear right this second. Just hold that for a minute. Boy, it's a good thing this isn't rocket science. I'd get fired, wouldn't I? Okay, let's see. Doing good, doing good. It's just a balancing act right now. Sometimes you got to go through that awkward stage before you can get to that wonderful finished project, or finished product. That's what I wanted. Alright, we're just going to do the same thing over here on the other side. Put this guy down first. Alright. It looks like I timed out, and of course I don't know where, so I'll have to go back and view it to find out. But we've got our four sides together. Alright. I was explaining, and like I said, I don't know where I was, but I was saying, I was just giving other options that you could always paint your chipboard and put construction strips inside and out, and then cover them up with pattern paper like we're going to do on the inside. Or if you wanted to use these on the outside, you would just want to cut your sides shorter so that they didn't stick out on the ends, and then you could use those on the outside. So yeah. Sorry, I don't know where I lost you. Alright, so we're going to let that dry for a little while, and I guess we're just going to let it dry for a while. I think now we're going to put these construction strips on the inside. They'll give us some more stability. Okay. But we're going to have to take an X-Acto blade and cut them in between our slats. Okay, but I need everything to dry first before we go much further. We can go ahead and put these on. Now, I think it'd be best if we let it dry, and then we can turn it up on its end and work with it better. So I think you should get to this stage, and this stage being, we have 4 construction strips on, and we've put 4 sides on. And we need to let the glue dry, and then we can proceed with adding the other crate straps on. Alright, but right now just try and make sure your sides are at a 90-degree angle to your bottom, and put just a teeny bit of glue on these edges here. We are going to give it more support, but just go ahead and put that on there and let that dry before we move on. Alright. Alright, so mine's relatively dry. I laid it on its side actually. Okay, so I could apply pressure here. To make sure my bottom and sides are at a 90-degree angle, I checked inside here. Alright, you should have the same distance between this little edge and this at the top, okay? That helps you to know. So you want to check all of those, and you want to let it dry at a 90-degree angle. Alright, now my next step is going to be to apply these 4 construction strips to the insides, okay, of the ends. And to do this, I want to turn it up on its end so that I can apply pressure. I don't know that the camera is going to capture this very well. That's why I'm explaining what I'm doing before I do it. See, when I do it, you're not going to be able to see in here very well. So I just wanted to tell you what I'm doing. I am going to put the glue on one side, all right, entirely on one side, and then just up about an inch to attach to our first crate. What are those things called? Slat. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. All right. So go ahead and cover one side completely with your glue. All right, because that's the part that's going to go against our side. And then just an inch or so up the other side to go onto our bottom slat. Okay. And again, I apologize, you're not going to be able to see this very well, but I got to do what I got to do to get her done. Alright, I'm going to fold it in half first so I can get all the way into that corner. Alright. And all the way to the bottom. Looks like I've got just a teeny bit hanging over the top, actually, on mine. I'm going to get rid of it with an X-Acto knife, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Alright, so I'm going to burnish down. I know y'all can't see this, I'm sorry, but I'm just applying pressure with my bone folder. Now I'm going to roll it over, and you can probably see, oof, I just pushed it apart. That was good. Alright, and I'm applying pressure there. I've got a little bit sticking out the top. I'm going to trim that off later. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Alright, now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Again, I apologize because you cannot see what I'm doing in there, but I just needed to put this, you know, down so that I could apply the pressure. Apply pressure, because we want it to adhere very, very well. Alright, so now I'm going to do the same thing on the other 3 corners. Okay, so again, you know, apply the glue to the whole thing for the one that goes on the side, and then about 1.25 inches or so up the other side. Fold it in half so you can push it all the way into the corner. Line up the top up here, kind of use your hand and you can feel, you know, if it's all the way to the edge. And again, it's a little too long, No problem. Trim it later. Here I go again where you can't see. And in there. Just push her down. Okay. So far, so good. Now, maybe I might learn something and trim that extra little bit right off of this one before I do it again. And get this one too. And what that is the thickness of the chipboard and paper at the bottom. I'm saying maybe 1/8 of an inch or so is what I'm taking off of there. And again, I did ink inside where my folds are going to be, and I don't think that's going to show, but just in case. Alright, where's that edge I cut off? Alright, there we go. Let's get it attached. Let me turn this around. Now our slats are going to attach to these construction strips as we come up the side. And we're going to have to take an X-Acto blade and go in there and cut out the little bitty in-between parts. Now the other option would be, of course, to cut 3 of the construction strips, 1 for each slat. But then where we wouldn't have one continuous piece here, so when we put our pattern paper in, it would not look as good, in my opinion. So that is why I am choosing to go ahead and cut it out with an X-Acto knife, as opposed to doing 3 of them on each edge. I really did think about it. Sometimes I don't think about things until too late, but you know what? I actually thought about this ahead of time. Can you believe it? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, here we go again. Sorry. Alright, all I'm doing is I'm pushing this down and obstructing your view in the meantime. So last one now. And after we get these on, I'm going to want to go ahead and put our pattern paper on the inside of the bottom slats and on the bottom before we move up to the next slat, because it's just going to be easier to get in there and work. I'm probably going to put those metal corner pieces in as well. Am I working off camera, y'all? I hope not. I was just applying glue. I mean, it's not like something you really needed to see, but I still apologize if I was off camera. Okay, so there is that one. Here I go again. Rude. Just so rude. Alright, push it down, push it down. Turn it over, push it down. Alright, there's that. Now I have to decide what papers I want on the inside of my slats, and on the bottom, and on the inside of my end pieces. So I'm going to go figure that out and cut them while we let this dry. If you would like to go cut yours, the dimensions are going to be 4 3/4 by 7 1/4 for the bottom. For the 2 end pieces, it'll be 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And for the inside of your 6 slats, it is going to be 1 1/4 by 7 1/4. Okay? So, if you want to go pick out your papers and start cutting, I'll meet you back here in just a few. Oh, you'll never know I was gone. Okay, bye. Alright, so let's start attaching some papers so that we can continue putting our slats on. So I'm going to start with the paper in the bottom. And this is the one I picked. It's the one that has the strips of like ads or labels or... Anyway, that's what I decided I wanted in the bottom. And actually, I'm doing the inside of my slats in it as well. So, all I'm going to do is put her down. And again, I did cut this at 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. And I didn't get it centered, so let me try again. Now you know why I wanted to put these in here before we got all the slats, because it'll just hopefully make it much easier for us. Alright, that looks pretty good to me. And I'm just using my art glitter glue for this. Get it down nicely. And you know Miss Tamara carries that over at Country Craft Creations. She sent it in my goodie bag if you didn't watch that video. And if you didn't watch that video, shame on you. You might have missed some good stuff. She sends very good stuff. She takes very good care of her design team members. Yay! I got hooked up with the right group, let me just tell you. I lucked out. Alright, first design team I applied for, and I just must have been waiting for the perfect one, because I think I found it. Okay, so that is down. Now, I'm also using this for the end, so I'm going to turn it up on its end here where you can't see again, because I know how much you gotta be loving that when I do that. But I want to get these pieces down so I can put in my metal corners. I don't think they're going to lap up this far, but just in case, let's get all of our papers down and make sure we've got them turned right way round. And let's see if we can get it centered. And I can hear my TV. I hope you can't hear my TV. I went and had lunch and I was watching my telly while I ate, and I forgot to turn it back down before I came over here. So if you can hear that, I apologize. I will turn it down next time I turn the camera off. Tacky, tacky old woman I am. Okay. Oh, goodness, and we got a judge over there hollering at somebody. I watch those court shows. I don't know why. Oh, maybe I shouldn't say I watch them. Maybe I should say I leave them on in the background, but, you know. Alright, so there's one end. How cute! Cute, cute, cute. These papers are just adorable. Just adorable. Of course, you know, has BoBunny ever made a bad paper? Really? Alright, so everything isn't everybody's taste, but so much cute, 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 cute stuff out there. I don't know, I can't decide if do I have a favorite maker? I sure do love me some Graphic 45, but you know, I love the BoBunny. I think I like them all. I think I just am a paper addict. Paper and yarn. Have y'all seen, I don't know, any of you that are on my Facebook page, you might have noticed I'm already knitting this year. I knew we were going to have kind of an early fall. Well, alright. Fall doesn't happen until the 25th, or excuse me, the 22nd, 21st, 22nd. It changes year to year, but you know, sometimes the weather gets here before the season actually does, so when I say early fall, that's what I'm talking about. Of course, it's not going to actually be early. It's always the same time, but you know what I mean? Alright, so I am just trimming these construction strips that were just a tad long, and I may need the X-Acto knife. I like it better usually, but let's see if I can get it. Okay, so I'm making a mess right now. Let me move this stuff out of the way so I can trim that on my mat. I've got my corners ready to go. I'm trying to be prepared, but as you can tell, I'm not real good at it. I was trying not to get any more glue on this mat because I have a tendency to make my papers dirty, and I'm going to be using that pretty white or cream off-white whatever cardstock, and so I'm trying to keep my mat as pristine as I can. And I'm going to hit this with alright, see, I can't do anything and talk at the same time, can I? I'm going to hit this with some ink so it doesn't look so bad. Trying to get this little edge off right here without messing stuff up. You know, I probably should have messed with this off camera. Sorry. But it was bugging me right now. I had to fix it right now. There we go. Make it disappear now. Okay. Alright, those look good. Okay. So, we've got the two ends covered and we've got the bottom covered. Now let's get the first two slats covered on the inside. Now that's in the way. Sorry. Alright, which ones do I want on the bottom? That one on the bottom and maybe that one on the bottom. The ones where the cuts aren't quite so good is what I think I'm going to put down there because you're going to see them the least. So, let's put some glue on there. And stick them down. And you guys probably don't want to watch me do all this stuff. See what I mean? There we go, getting my mat messed up. I could probably do this off camera. You can always put a comment down in the comment boxes and let me know what's irritating to watch. Alright, there's that one down. The reason I was trying to get these down, I want to get those metal corners down. And that'll make it a little sturdier, I believe. And I didn't want to be fussing with those metal corners from the very top with all the slats in. Because I thought that would be a pain in the buttocks. Alright. This one goes this way. Turn it over. You know, I could probably use tweezers to put that in there if I thought about things for a minute first before I did them. And there we go. So the bottom layer is all covered and ready to roll. We just need to put in these little corners. Alright, so what I've done was I snipped the legs of the brads to make them a little bit shorter so they didn't stick out, because I'm not actually going to poke these through to the outside. But I am going to use some E6000, which is some wonderfully strong glue. There's my old tube. Where's my new tube? Well, there it is. My old tube, I think, is kind of dried out. Yes, I'm using my teeth. I know, it's terrible, awful bad. Don't tell my dentist. Alright, so I've trimmed the legs of the brads. I've put them on there and I've folded them. So now I'm gonna schmutz on some. Look at me. I told you I was messy with glue, y'all. Didn't I tell you? I told you. Now you see what I mean. I'm just a mess. Alright. Start with the first corner. Now see, I tried to bend those little legs where they wouldn't stick out. Gotta get them turned. Alright. Before I glue them down. There we go. Alright. Down to the corner we go. Drop it in, push it back, get it all the way situated. There we go. That E6000 is some wicked strong stuff. It takes a while to dry. That's alright, and this also helps make sure we got kind of 90-degree angles going on. Alright, I'm gonna hold it, hold it. Oh, I got it crooked. Alright. Stick it down. Alright, so you got to hold this a while. You probably don't want to watch. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I'm going to glue these 4 corners down just like I'm showing you, because I'm going to have to hold each of them quite a while, and I don't want to make you watch. So I'll come back in a few. Alright, the corners are in, and they're semi-dry. They're tacky. I mean, this E6000, it takes quite a while to dry, but they're good enough. They're not going to move around right now. And this is the E6000. It's really good for your metals and for heavy duty holding. It's some type of industrial whatever. I think I want to put the top ones on, and then we can split the difference, boom, for the center ones. And how cute is this going to be? I was debating, because I kind of wanted to put the second ones on next. It'd be easier to reach. However, I think for centering reasons, I want the top on. So I think we'll be okay reaching in, you know, like we'll have it like this. I think we'll be okay reaching in with the first one done to reach the second one without a whole lot of trouble. It's going to get a little more complicated once we do that second side, but you guys aren't going to be able to watch me very well. I apologize for that, but I think it's just more doable. I want to get my spacing correct. So let's go ahead and put the top one on next. So I'm going to come on here and I'm going to put my glue. 1.25 inches. Okay, and I don't know exactly 1.25 inches, so I'm going to put it on a little heavy. It'll squish a little bit. Alright, does that look like 1.25 inches? If we get it too far, it doesn't matter, because we're going to cut that out anyway. So better safe than sorry. I'm bringing it on down. Alright. Now for the top one, I think I'm just going to do it flush with the top of the side. So, and we got to center it. Remember, it's just a 1/2 inch longer, so we got 1/4 inch sticking out. Alright, I want it right there. So I'm going to push that down and just enough to hold, and now I'm flipping it over. Making sure everything's straight. Alright. Push it down real good. And burnish, burnish. Now see, this side you can watch. The other side, I'm going to have the top on. You're not going to be able to see it very well, but you'll know what I'm doing because I'm showing you right now. Okay, so there's the top. Stand it back up. And now we're gonna do the middle. And they're gonna have a gap about that big, I think. Something like that. Now getting in there to remove that with the X-Acto knife may be a little interesting, huh? We'll figure it out. Okay. Now, how does that look? Whoop! Does that look even? Look pretty good? Push it down and then go in and push up against it. Excuse my reach. Alright, and then flip it over. Now we can see that it's a little crooked. And we'll straighten it right up. Okay. Now, as long as we've got it here, I say let's go ahead and put pattern paper on. Let me decide which ones. Okay, this one looks really good for the top. This one looks really good for the top. So these are going to be our center ones by default. I'll use that and that on this side. I almost put the red polka dots, but then I decided I liked the labels better for the crate. The red looked good against the burlap, but I don't know, since it's a crate, I just thought the labels were more appropriate. Liked the way it looked. And now I'm just going to lay that right over there. Look at that. Isn't that just the cutest darn thing? Can y'all see it? Kinda, sorta. And there is our second slat covered with paper. And one more. We are almost there. We get these slats on, and the only thing left to do is decorate the outside. Alright. And of course, that decorating part is where everybody's personal taste comes in. Everybody can do their own thing. I got a couple ideas as to what I want to do with mine. And as always, if you're following along and making your own project, please, 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 please don't forget to share it with everybody. We love to see everybody's work. Gives us all new ideas. I think that is too cute. My little burlap crate. Maybe we should try and cut those. Let's see. I wonder, let me try it this way. I don't know which is the best way to do it. I don't think this is the best way to do it. Oh goodness, I think Maury Povich is on. Oh goodness. You're not the father. Lie detector test says. I don't know. They got somebody upset, somebody fussing. I still didn't turn down the TV, did I? I forget stuff. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with that. I'll figure it out. Are y'all watching? Okay. Oh, alright, here we go. Try and hold that. Alrighty. Okay. I don't know yet how I'm going to get that. Can I get it right there? Oh, the lie detector test determined that was a lie. I'm so sorry about the TV. Oh, goodness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Alright, there we go. And then we'll get some ink on there. Maybe put a little glue. Get rid of the ugly. Uh-huh. Maybe just a teeny piece of sandpaper in there to get that edge taken care of. And then I think if we glue it down a little. Ooh, the glue's still a little damp, so maybe it was a good thing I did cut it. Because now maybe we can smush that down. Nobody will ever notice. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so I'll mess with the others in a little bit so you don't have to watch. Let's just flip her over, do the other side. Second verse, same as the first. Alright, so let's just do this. Alright. And this. Alright. And line it up with the top. There we go. Yeah, there. reach in and smush it down, smush it down, smush it, flip it. Okay. I'm looking at my outside piece. I think it needs to come over this way just a touch. Okay. Alrighty. Burn. Uh-oh. Hold on a minute. This was kind of buckling, so there. Alright. Probably can't see, but I'm just pushing that construction strip down like we did before. Getting it nice and secure. Looks good. And the thing is, you know, these crates aren't made perfect anyway, so if it's slightly off, my theory is authenticity. Make it look like an authentic crate then, see? Okay. We'll just put some more glue for our middle slat. And I'm getting it down in that crack too, as long as we're here. Alright. And there we go. I think it's easier to tell if it's straight from the back side, so we'll go ahead and smush it down well enough to flip it over. And y'all can't see, but it's easier to tell if your gaps are consistent, you know, if it runs uphill or downhill. I just think it's easier to see it from the back side. And of course y'all can't see anything but the top right now. Sorry. And now I'm just going to go ahead and put in the pattern paper as well. And then we will start working on the outside of our crate. And you know, I have my end pieces picked out because that's what inspired this whole thing. And I did want to mount them on some of the cardstock because I just wanted to get an extra border. So I'm going to be cutting a piece of my cardstock at 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 because I'm going to cut out these two pieces at 4 by 4. So I just want a little border around them of the cream. So you're going to need, you can just put your 4 by 4. It depends on how much border you want. See, these are 5 by 5. And I'm going to put a 4 1/4 piece with a 4-inch square pattern paper on top. And I just think that's cute as can be. I'm tickled with the way it is turning out. It's just as cute as the picture I had in my head. So that's like the objective, is to get the picture in my head to come into reality. And I think we've about done it. I think we have done it. And can you not just see some of that packaging? You know that shredded paper that's also crinkled? It's like crimped or something, and then it's shredded. And in this jute color, this burlappy jute. If you had some of that packaging down in there, and then a couple of jars of preserves, or I'm going to probably do a mini album in there. I've got a couple of ideas about that. But my first idea was the crate, so I really wanted to make that happen first. I'm going to go back and I'm going to trim out my papers here like I did on this side. I'm going to try and clean up those edges and maybe put just a teeny bit of ink in there. And do the same on this side. And so far, this is our little crate. And I'm really kind of loving the little crate. I don't know that I'd put a lot of weight in it. If you're doing those preserves, I'm thinking you're going to either need to do construction strips on the outside and then pattern paper. or I just don't know if it'll hold that. We'll see once all of this dries. But since we don't have construction strips on the inside and the outside, and since these corners are in the inside, not the outside, not real sure how much weight I would trust it with. Of course, if you handled it supporting the bottom, you're always going to be fine. But anyway, so there is our crate. Needs to dry, and I will trim. And again, I am going to cut 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 of my cardstock, and then 4 by 4 of my pattern paper. And I'm getting a low battery sign, so while I do that, I'm going to go charge my battery, and I shall return. All right, it is all dry, and now it is time to decorate. And I am using this BoBunny, the chipboard stickers. You can see I've punched out some here, and let me show you which ones those are. Those are the words autumn, the little tags that spell autumn. And what I've done is I just inked around the edges. Okay, can you see? All right, let me get this out of the way because it's just confusing. Anyway, this is the this was the collection, and I got the autumn stickers from there. And I just had a real thin piece of jute for like beading, jewelry beading. It was some little kit that I had a gazillion years ago and never used. And I just put it on the string. I kind of spaced it out a little bit to where I thought it would hang here nicely. And I also punched out a couple of these little buttons, and I thought I'd use the buttons to kind of anchor it into place. And don't you hate it when they don't really print in the center? You never know how to place them. Anyway, so I'm thinking if I do that there and this over here, and I took the one that said Fantastic Find, Farmer's Market Fantastic Find, and I went ahead and adhered that. Sorry, I did that before I thought to turn the camera back on. Anyway, so that is my plan for the front of our crate. Pretty simple. I may end up with like maybe a little leaf down here or something. Don't know yet. I got to do it one phase at a time. So, oh, and also I thought I would share with you to get in there and ink those edges after I cut, after I went in and cut that extra strip, you know, where we had the extra strip. I took a Q-tip and used my ink pad, and I went and I used a Q-tip to put the ink in there because, of course, it's too small to get an inker in there. So anyway, all right, back to our decorating. I think, all right, I have to figure out how long to make the string here. I think I want it to hang just about like that. All right, so I'm just going to leave it lay there just like so, and glue my little pieces on top of my string. And oh, I gotta move it to where I can see better. All right, so put that down, put my string right there. Now to hold that, I am some kind of high-tech fancy crafter, let me tell you, because ta-da, get your clothespin out. Woo! Telling ya, fancy woman over here. Dang it, I can't get it where I want it. Right there. Okay, wait. I moved it. Too busy laughing at myself. I'm screwing things up. All right, there's that one. We'll put this one over here. And that looks about right. And let's see. Where's my glue? Right there in front of me. And we'll put this one over here. And get me a clothespin. Put that right there. And then we will snip off the string. Ooh, I should have put a knot in it. Oh well, too late now. We'll leave it like that. I want those to kind of flap. I don't want those anchored down. Alright, what do you think? Is that adorable? It better be. It better be stinking cute. Alright, do we need a leaf down here? What do y'all think? Do we need a brown leaf? Oh, that's kind of cute. I wasn't sure about it, but I kind of like that. Maybe a brown one and a yellow one? No, don't like that. I'm looking. There's lots of different leaves on here. Ooh, what about this one with that? Do we like that? Do we like that? No, I don't like that. Maybe that? Or do we like the yellow? I think maybe the yellow, since we've got yellow. Ooh, and that one's smaller. I think I like that better. Do we like that? I'm pretty sure we do. Do we? Don't we? And maybe just a teeny one right there. Like, no. What if, no. I'm not very good at this. I think we'll just do that. Decorating's not my forte. I'm a builder. Alright, I think I want to ink the leaves around the edges. Alright, we are just almost done, y'all. And I'm very happy with this, the way this turned out. I think it turned out even cuter than the picture in my head. That's always a plus, right? So let's get that inked up, ink it up, ink it. And all that's left, I think, is to take our clothespins off and take some pictures for the beginning of the video. I think we're there. I can't believe it. Can you believe it? Alright, glue, 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 glue. They are sticky on the back, but I want to make sure. So there we go, glue, glue, glue. This one still has the backing on it. And where do I want it? There. Okay. Glue, 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 glue. And right about there. Alright. You think our glue's set yet? It's probably a little early. That is our box, our crate, our BoBunny Farmer's Market crate. I think it's cute. I think I also want that. It'll have to do. It'll just have to do. I'm not real happy with the way that's hanging, but I think it'll do. Alright. Oh, I didn't show you that yet, I don't think. Remember I told you I was going to cut 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 cardstock and then cut out my pattern paper at 4 by 4. And I did. So there's one end. I didn't do anything to the back. And there's the other end. Aren't those cute? I just love, love, love it. That's all I did. It's so simple. You saw us put the front on together. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you decide to make a crate of your very own. I'm not real sure that's stuck yet. There's our crate, inside and out. Oh, and it's a little stronger than I really thought it was going to be. Check this out. I did a little test. This is a pretty heavy candle right here, okay? It is almost 4 inches tall. It's about 3 3/4 inches in diameter. It's almost a full candle, all right? No problem at all. Holding that just fine. And you know, I think you could, yeah, I think your jars of jam are going to be fine in there if you want to do that.
Yeah, it's a little sturdier than I was, see, I was afraid it wasn't going to be real sturdy, but it turned out real good. Very happy. Thanks for watching, and ciao for now, y'all.